Hi, Year 3. This week in our humanities lesson, we're going to review what we learned last week about mapping, the features of maps, and the acronym that we learned, BOLTS, which helps us to remember the features on maps. Then we're going to move on to learn about Australia and its closest neighbours. So if we take a look at this first map that we have here of Australia, hopefully you recognise that. Let's have a little look and see if we can remind ourselves about that acronym. So B for border, where the edges of the map are, O for orientation, which direction is north, L for legend or key, which shows us or tells us what the symbols on the map mean, T for title, which describes what the map is showing us, and S for scale, telling us the size of the map, and S for source, who were the makers of the map. So let's have a quick look at this map here. We can clearly see our borders around the edge here. Our orientation is here with north pointing straight up. The legend is here, and we can see that there's some little symbols and coloured lines and stars. And if we look closer at the map, we would see those here. You can look at that in your lesson. And we have the title, Map of Australia and Surrounding Oceans. The scale is down here inside the legend, and the source is over here. And this map was made by a company called HEMA. They're quite a famous mapping company. All right, so that was bolts from last week. So if we now move down here, our lesson for today, if you have an atlas at home, ask mum and dad. It would be handy or interesting to have a little bit of a look in there as well, but not absolutely necessary. So in our lesson today, we are learning to name and locate Australia's neighbouring countries. What I'm going to be looking for from you is that you can label a map of Australia and its neighbours. And this is important because we need to know where Australia is, what's on it, and what's around us. It's where we live. So, instruction number one, let's have a look at the map below here. We're going to find where Australia is. So, luckily it's quite a distinctive shape and it's very large and it's out there in the sea on its own. So, very simple. Down here we can see Australia. What other countries do you know? Well, I know a few. I'm from England, which is over here, and I've lived in Cambodia, which is over here, and Azerbaijan, which is over here, and I know some of the other bigger ones because I've been lucky enough to travel there. Which countries do you know? Have a little chat with your parents and carers and find out which countries they know. Okay, let's scroll down to our second map. Okay, so here's Australia now, much larger on this map. And this is a map of Australia and Oceania. So this is us and lots of the countries that are surrounding us. So we can see here Papua New Guinea, West Papua, East Timor. We've got New Caledonia, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, Nauru, French Polynesia, the Pitcairn Islands, and all the way over here we can see Hawaii. That's quite far away. And they're in some areas that you may have heard of before, Melanesia, Polynesia. But this whole region is called Australia and Oceania. So that's our closest neighbours. And then we've got Southeast Asia over here. So East Timor, we're starting to look at the Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, and Indonesia, places like that. Okay, so now if we scroll down a little bit further, we can see a black line master of our map here. So your job is to label the surrounding oceans. So if you scroll back up to the map here and have a closer look, you'll see the names of the oceans that surround Australia. There are some smaller seas as well. Perhaps you can find those in your atlas, but the main ones are here labeled for you. So you just need to copy them down on the map down here. Then we would like you to label Queensland, so which is our state. And in our state of Queensland, could you also label Brisbane and Cairns? So you're going to need to look that up either on your computer or in an atlas. You can use the draw tool on your computer or you can print and label the map. We'd also like you to fill in the compass rows down here showing which directions are north, east, south and west. And then if you have time, it would be great if you could shade around that map as well. Okay, a couple of fun little questions down the bottom here. If you're standing at Palm Cove Beach and you dip your toes in the water, which ocean do you have your toes in? And if you're standing at Kawara Beach and you're facing out to sea and looking out at the ocean or the horizon, which direction are you facing? All right, good luck year 3. Looking forward to seeing your maps. You might have a go also at labelling some of the other places on your map, not just Queensland. See how much time that you have. Okay, over and out. Bye.